As I've said many, many times, I have been in this progressive media business for 21 years now, going all the way back to the the George W. Bush administration. Before the 2004 election is when I started. And I remember back then, for the last 4.5 years of the W administration, articles would come out every couple of months with some variation of the headline that says George W. Bush is the dumbest person to ever be the president of the United States. And for the longest time, I thought that's pretty much going to stick, right? He is going to forever be known as the dumbest president of the United States. But now, I don't think it's going to stick, because even I no longer believe that with as dumb as George W. was, he's the dumbest to ever hold office. No, folks, that title clearly, deservedly goes to Donald J. Trump, the dumbest person to ever occupy the Oval Office in the history of the United States. And he loves to prove to us how low IQ and stupid he really is. And he did it again this week with yet another threat of tariffs. He began the week on Monday, moving the goalposts, pushing the July 9th deadline back to August 1st. Then an hour or two later, he goes out, he threatens more tariffs against our allies, actually puts tariffs on Japan and South Korea. Couple days later, he comes back and he's like, you know what? It's not good enough to just threaten those countries. I'm going to threaten Brazil. Because as he told us in his post on Truth Social, the letter he posted, Brazil's been taking advantage of us for years, and also his good buddy Bolsonaro is being treated unfairly. Here is what this idiot put on Truth Social. I knew and dealt with former President Jair Bolsonaro and respected him greatly, as did most other leaders of countries. No, they did not. That is a fabrication. The way that Brazil has treated former President Bolsonaro, a highly respected leader, throughout the world during his term, bullcrap. It just pisses me off that he lies as easily as the rest of us breathe. That's never not gonna piss me off. Including by the United States as an international disgrace. This trial should not be taking place. It is a witch hunt and should end immediately. The letter then went on to say that the United States plans to implement 50% tariffs on Brazilian goods starting August 1st, unless Brazilian companies agree to build or manufacture their products in the U.S. Trump said the move is necessary to rectify, quote, a long-standing, very unfair trade relationship between the two countries, and of course then added that we have a massive trade deficit with Brazil. We do not, in fact, have a trade deficit with Brazil. This brain-dead walking orange lied, one, about the political persecution of Bolsonaro. That guy absolutely deserves to be on trial. But two, he's telling people, because he genuinely believes, that we have a trade deficit with Brazil, when in reality, we have been running a trade surplus with Brazil for almost a decade now. The trade surplus last year was $7.4 billion, which was up 32% from the year before. So we are selling more to Brazil than we are buying from Brazil. And that's what Trump wants, right? He wants that surplus, not a deficit, because he thinks trade deficits mean bad things are happening. So he literally has exactly what he wants, exactly what he's telling other countries they have to do, and he's still threatening a 50% tariff on all their goods. Why? Two reasons. One, he's completely crazy. I believe that this man is certifiable. If he were to actually go in under a forced psychological and neurological evaluation, he's not coming out. He's getting fitted for one of those jackets where he can just hug himself all day and he'd be in a padded room. I firmly believe that is where his mental state is. That's reason number one. Reason number two is not only is he crazy, he's dumb. Donald Trump loves to call other people low IQ. He typically reserves that for black people. He loves to insult their intelligence. He loves to call people stupid, but he does that not because the other people are stupid or low IQ, because he is. Like, I am constantly reminded of, the beginning of Forrest Gump when his mom's meeting with the school principal and he's like, we like our students to be about here. This is the cutoff. Your son's down here. That's where Trump is on that IQ meter, somewhere in the 60s. That's what I think of whenever I hear this man speak, whenever I see him do anything. I'm reminded of that scene from Forrest Gump. Your boy's about here. Because that's where Trump is. I genuinely believe he is far below average in intelligence. He gets basic things wrong, basic things that everybody else can look up in half a second. Maybe it's part of the mental issues, right? Maybe it's because he has such this compulsion to lie, and maybe it's not because he's stupid. We could have that argument all day. Is he just a liar or is he flat out dumb? Because I think there's great arguments, for both. All both sides that issue, but I do think he is the dumbest person to ever occupy the White House. Not just because he accused them of us of having a deficit with the country we have a surplus with, but also because this proves he knows nothing about trade. He knows nothing about our status with other countries. He's telling other companies in these countries, genuine Brazilian companies, genuine European companies that were born and formed in those countries, like he did with the pharmaceutical companies this week. He says, you have to move to the United States or we're putting a 200% tariff on pharmaceuticals. You have to move out of Brazil to the US or we're putting a 50% tariff on you. These are Brazilian companies. These are European companies, Japanese companies, Chinese companies. You can't mandate that they just move to here. This is insane. That's crazy. The rest of it, of course, is stupid. And unfortunately, we have a little over 3.5 years of crazy, stupid left. And it's only going to continue to get worse from here. Did you know that you might be missing out on wonderful content from me? I mean, you're here already because clearly you like what you see. So if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, share them with your friends and family, but also follow me across the rest of the social media world. And it's not that hard to do. Whether it's X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, on every one of those platforms, you can find me at the username @FarronBalanced. Simple enough, right? So get on it. And if you don't feel like going to each one of those outlets individually, lucky for you, we have links in the description of this video to take you right to my pages across all of social media. So don't miss a minute. And while you're at it, make sure you're also subscribed to the Ring of Fire YouTube channel, which I have been hosting for many, many years now. We've got more than 1 million subscribers over there, and there is fresh content over there every single day of the week. So again, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel, and while you're at it, go subscribe to Ring of Fire at youtube.com/The Ring of Fire and @FarronBalanced across every social media platform. That, of course, is not considered just a far-right hellscape. Well, maybe Twitter is, but that's a story for a different day.